flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everybody on behalf of the Fiscal. Approval of the minutes from the last meeting. Has everybody had a chance to look over them? Adjustments, correction.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Got a motion? Second, all in favor? Opposed? So carried. Monthly bills, any questions, concerns?
Just on the talking just for weather still going down.
Yeah. Yes, those have been around.
Make a motion to pay bills.
Got a motion? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Treasurer's report.
I'll be reporting for December, and we've got a monthly and a quarterly. So we'll start with the monthly. General fund receipts totaling $208,731.07. Expenditures, $240,609, leaving a balance in general fund, including CDs, of $434,431.48. For road fund, we received $202,242.48. We dispersed $76,149.49, leaving a balance in road, including Hillendale monies, a balance of $588,053.47. And in Hillendale, there was checking interest earned of $2.79, which left a balance of $16,451.84 for Hillendale. Jail receipts were $41,227.04, and that was including a transfer. Disbursements totaled $29,426.65, leaving a balance in jail of $30,473.25. LGEA receipts totaled $1,253.56. We dispersed $2,766.45, leaving a balance in LGEA of $173,541.71. State grants, we had no activity, leaving just the balance of $23.12 in there for the account to be opened. Ambulance fund receipts totaled $56,059.71. We dispersed $118,827.33, leaving a balance in ambulance, including CDs, of $177,133.64. Economic development, we had interest earned of $68.29, no disbursements, leaving a balance in economic development of $201,077.39. 911 fund receipts totaled $42,238.65, and that included transfers. Dispersed $22,878.18 for 911, which left a balance of $21,138.78. For the wireless 911, we had 13 cents of interest earned. We dispersed $16,500, which was a transfer, leaving a balance in 911 wireless of $4,809.89. Tourism receipts totaled $2,929.21. We dispersed $3,403.09, which left a balance in tourism of $70,924.05. And court facilities, interest earned was $73.37. We dispersed $1,428.01, leaving in court facilities a balance of $215,346.10. And that's for December.
second, all in favor? Opposed? So carried.
Budget transfers for December total $14,014. That was general and EMS.
Motion on budget transfer. Got a motion? Second, all in favor? Opposed? So carried.
I had 3 interfund cash transfers. I had one from the wireless to 911, that was $16,500. One from general to jail for $40,000, and one from general to 911 for $22,000.
Got a motion? Second. Questions, concerns? All in favor? Opposed? So carried.
The next item I have is a budget amendment. This is amendment number 3, ordinance 011515. And this is where we have realized unbudgeted receipts from a workman's comp refund and from CAECO, the variable rate lease refunds. This is for this budget year, 2014-15, and it will increase the receipts in general, road, and LGEA for a total of $67,626.26. And basically, I'm using some of the miscellaneous revenues and what we got back from the workman's comp refund. We'll use that in general reserve. And then the CAECO refunds on all of our leases for the roads, those will go into those individual accounts that we can be able to pay down those debts for the variable rate lease funds. And this will be the first reading.
A motion to accept the budget amendment, first reading.
So
Got a motion? Second. All in favor? Opposed? So carried.
And the only thing else I have for you guys, I did put down in front of you the internet breakdown, just kind of the initial startup cost. I've kind of highlighted those as labor, building, uniforms, advertising, all those things are broken down. You can look at those. And that's just for information. And then told the judge I was going to start working on crunching some numbers with Bud from Glencoe on a possible rescue truck. So we're going to start looking at those numbers, and then I'll just keep you posted on estimated figures, what the costs we're looking at.
Those guys are, so far, doing very well with the budget. We're halfway through the year. They're probably 25% or less, so they're doing very well. Anything else, Lisa? Old business, the new ambulance is here. Seems like we've waited forever. I'm gonna have Ken put on his second hat.
Yeah.
And kind of give us a little lowdown on it. It's over in the,
It's in a new building. It's a really nice piece. It's got features that we're the only ones in Kentucky that have. It's the first and nearest product in Kentucky. Fuel mileage, safety, it's top of the line. Probably a week away from getting in service. Got radios installed, got everything we need. Just need to get things put together, get it in service. But it's a nice thing. It's a little, it's white, it's with blue stripes. It's not red.
it's not really,
$8,000 to get a red truck. Price wise, just.
if you get a chance,
It's
so
a
I'm going to take a look at it. It's a
Chevrolet,
nice machine.
385 miles of check engine light. Fuel, exhaust sensor or something, so. I hope that's not almost getting.
Yeah, yeah. In Anybody got anything else under old business? New business. Everyone had a chance to look over the 2015 holidays. It's pretty much following that. I think that the state may be a little different. Kind of look over
Motion
it.
to approve the 2015 holiday schedule.
Got a motion? Need a second?
Second.
Need a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. As you all know, last year was a very good for our county roads with the slips and the different things we had in town. By fixing those slips, it created an illusion in a lot of places that you were going off the road, and we've had a couple I won't say a couple, I'll say several people that has asked about guardrails and such. So we basically got a price to get guardrails put these slip areas. You've got the sheet in front of you. There's roughly going to be 2,500 feet to 3,000, roads about $15 a foot. George Stone, who's got, does a lot of stuff for the state, he's given us a price on it, but it's going to total up about 36,000, somewhere between 36 and 40,000. But you know, my theory is do all of them, be done with it.
Do we bid that? Is that road department doing it?
Well, I think that we did it. Everybody was any questions?
You're gonna find that they're probably not the only ones that come to do it, but the one that was really hard service.
Talk like they would be in here much more. Well, I'll give you a motion, a second to go ahead and get that done. I know you had some folks that was concerned. Got a motion? That's a second. All in favor? Opposed? So carried. We've got a sheet here with the folks that want to be on the development committee for the Hardy property. I want to give you all a copy of it. If we've left anybody out, please pencil their name in, anybody that you've talked to. We will probably take those people and probably put an ad in the paper next month, set up a meeting probably here, and get a game plan to develop that property.
While we're on that, I drove up in there New Year's Eve because I've been getting some complaints about some stuff that was being cut up there, but it's supposed to be cut. And I thought, well, probably not that bad, it's worse than I thought. A lot of green stuff being cut, green hickory. Of course, I know we got the ash borer and stuff, but there's a lot of ash that was cut, ash borer. And I don't know how anybody else feels about it, but what started out as a good deed, helping people out with firewood, now we've got people that are going in there cutting and selling.
We can just,
So what I was thinking about doing, because I think, Josh, you've been up there a couple times with some calls.
Yes, actually, the judge asked me to go up yesterday.
Did you see any evidence of green cutting trees cut?
Yes, I did. And one of the gentlemen I spoke to in there, the judge had to get permission to be there. So we clarified that situation because the complaint that came to Judge McFarland was that they were from out of the county. They were not. They were from the county, had permission to be there. But they're making the judgment call whether a tree's dead or not. Of course, we all know it's wintertime. There's not a leaf on a tree. So how can one man make that judgment call if he's not a tree expert? So, and what I witnessed, what I seen driving the wood lines is that down in the hollers of that property, there's treetops laying everywhere. But these people are going right off the goat path and cutting everything that's within 6 feet of the path. And they're leaving the stumps up that high. I don't agree with that. I mean, that's, yeah, it's easy pickings, you know, but, you know, if it's gonna be somebody that's gonna use the wood to heat their house or for their family, I'm fine with that, but I'm seeing multiple loads of wood come out there with big for sale signs on it, and, you know, the CAC down here offers vouchers for people in wood, and, you know, I'm like, you know, Mr. Shanklin, I believe that one thing that we try to let somebody do, and of course, like every other situation, that people take advantage of.
I think firewood season's about over. Either you got it or you don't. They just put an ad in there and just stop.
Yeah, the only other thing I was thinking, and I'll run this by you, and you all give me your thoughts, was, I don't like the Forest Service will issue cutting permits. And I didn't know if there might be something where we could keep a log at the office. I don't want to throw any more work on the girls, but keep a log at the office to where they gotta have a permit to be in there cutting, and limit them to 2 loads a month. You know,
That's an idea.
that would only be reasonable.
And I think that's probably something that, probably this year, like I said, if you haven't got your firewood cut for this year, yeah, you're probably not gonna do it, but I'd say just cut it off for this year, and then.
It's a beautiful place.
Oh, I do.
Anybody that's not been up there, it's worth the drive up.
Yeah, I do.
Next year, we might be able to take a block of it too and get the forestry department to help us tag some of us, get their ideas about what should and shouldn't be cut.
It's hard to tell how many hundreds of treetops just laying there.
Committee's gonna meet.
Yes, that
Take
tree top
control.
is already down, right?
Yeah, it looked like it might have been lost a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I
It
think.
was 2 years ago, the Amish were in there logging that, and before anything was done, because, trust me, we got numerous complaints about the log trucks coming out of there.
Yeah, I think it was logged pretty heavy.
Yes, it was.
I went back all the way to the end of the road, and then come back, it was froze, and come out the top to where you can overlook the river. And if anybody's not been up there, it's worth
Yeah.
going up there to see
Yeah,
it.
so the potential there is
Unbelievable.
unbelievable. Yeah, you're right. But anyway, you've got the list, so anybody that you think of, that is, I know we've had several people to ask, I've tried to jot them all down as we went. If you think someone, let me know. We'll put this to paper, try to get a hold of as many of these people as we can, set up a meeting next month and start the organization part of it.
I did notice, Judge, that somebody has taken the hinges out of the gate, and the gate's laying off. So if we have an opportunity with it being nice, the next few days, maybe send the county guys up there. But we're gonna have to put something on there, because they're just screwing the pins out. So rather than put 2 more chains on it to where they can't, I don't know, something that,
Cables.
something, yes, sir.
We've also got a planning and zoning appointment, which is going to be Ron Courtney. He has taken Jeff Moore's place. Jeff had just said he had too many irons in the fire. Ron has accepted the position, so need a motion on that to put Ron on the planning and zoning board.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
And a motion, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
Didn't it start for January or February? January?
Yeah. Another thing that we've had, there's been some conversation, you've probably seen in the paper and even on the property, when we had the archaeologists in here. I've done a little research on some of the cemeteries, and believe me when I say little, very little, but there are numerous little cemeteries in our county that, you know, either the families have died off, nobody takes care of them, nobody knows about them, a lot of them they don't even know about. The good thing about this, there are monies, grant monies available to take these cemeteries, mark them, keep them cleaned up, keep them, presentable. But the state says you have to have a cemetery board to apply for that money to do that. So on the list that you've got there, these are 5 citizens at large. It is not, unfortunately, it is not a paying position. One is Alex Weldon, and she has expressed interest. Jackie or Joe Myler, I think either one of those would be good, but they've not decided between them which one would want to do it. The other one was Shirley Warnick, who had brought up the old Pioneer Cemetery over here, which was, the other one was Lucy Deaton, who was excited about it, and Boyd Lineberger. So I would like to establish that board and kind of seek out some of these old cemeteries that a lot of us probably know that are not being taken care of or need to be marked, or family members notified or whatever. But there are some monies available through the state to do that. I'll let this board look into that, see the availability and how much. It just seemed like the right thing to do. But I do need a motion to create this and put these folks on here. Got a motion? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. I should put you guys first, sorry about that, but at least you got out of the house. You got out of the house. Anyway, Kevin, good to see you guys, and I know you've got our much anticipated road schedule and funding awaiting us, so if you want to kind of go over that with us a little bit.
Okay, I'm Kevin Rust with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. I work up in the District 6 office in Covington, and I have with me Matt Graves. He's our section engineer in Owington. He covers Owen, Carroll, and Gallatin. And of course, Ken McCarty, he's our tech supervisor that covers all the maintenance activities in Owen, Carroll, and Gallatin counties. And first, I'd like to talk a little bit about what we did last year. Last year, we finished up the concrete replacement right here in Warsaw on 42. We spent about $265,000 there, and then we did our rural secondary projects from last year, and they were $471,000. We had one MP project that was a little over $26,000, and we had the bridge deck overlay in Sparta. That was $250,000. And then we also spent about $198,000 on in-place patching. That's where we hire a contractor to come in and do strips of a road, but not an entire road. It doesn't warrant resurfacing, but it's bad enough that it needs some work done on it. We also did a total of 8 slide repairs last year in Gallatin County. That coupled with what the county did, we made a lot of progress last year. We did 2 sites on Kentucky 455. And we did 6 sites on Kentucky 184. We also extended the high friction surface on I-71. We did a project 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, where we went down the hill and up the hill, but we wanted to go up the hill on the downhill portion further on the southbound side. At the time when we did the first project, there really wasn't a product out there that you could put on a bridge deck. And there is a product now similar to what we did the last time, where we could go on the bridge deck and go further up the hill there to 63. So we spent about another $100,000 there. I think total we've spent about $600,000 in that curve to 63. And I think everybody agrees the accidents have gone way down. I don't know if we've had any major ones. We've had a few still, but they've gone way down since doing that. So all total, we spent a little over $2 million in Gallatin County last year. For the upcoming year, we do have one primary route that made the list. The primary routes are determined out of Frankfurt. We don't get to say on those. They rank them statewide. But Kentucky 455 from approximate mile point 4 to approximate mile point 7 will get resurfaced this year. And then we also have a repaving, milling, filling on I-71. It's basically the 3-lane section there at Kentucky Speedway. It's really never been resurfaced since it was rebuilt. We did do a lot of in-place patching there last year to get through the winter because we didn't want to be out there pothole patching all winter, but it'll basically be from mile point 56.7 to mile point 59.7. We'll also do all the ramps at the exit 57 interchange. So we're hoping that's going to go to bid about April or so, and it would all be constructed this year, but we'll see. Hopefully they'll get that ready. With that, I'll turn it over to Ken. He's going to talk about this year, what we're proposing for the rural secondary program.
Thanks, Kevin. The rural secondary allotment this year from last year is basically the same. It's a little lower this year. It's just a couple $1,000 lower. It's not much. The overall allotment is $583,000. $233 of that comes back to us for the cabinet for maintaining those roads. $46,000 number there is monies that was left last year that were, the projects were under my, I put the estimates out, they put them to bid, they came in under, so we get that back. $3,800 to the judge detective expenses, and $58,308 are flex funds, which you can retain or give back to us. So I drove all the rural secondary roads and I've looked. These two pieces are the only roads that have not been paved in 6 years. After these two are done, we've covered all the rural secondary roads in Gallatin. Carroll County is in the same boat, Ellen County nowhere near it. So we're getting really close on Gallatin. So it's my recommendation that the first project we do is Baker Road, Kentucky 2850. It'll start at Highway 16 and it'll go all the way to the Boone County line, which is about 0.3 of a mile before it gets to 42. But we'll put an inch overlay on it, do stone shoulders where needed, and that's about $286,000 for work. That leaves about $50,000. And on Craig's Creek or Kentucky 1130, there's about 3/4 of a mile that's not been paved. It's basically from Gould Road around to Speedway Boulevard, where Kentucky 1039 ties in. And that's a $54,000 project, which pretty much depletes the funds that are available. If we get the flex funds back, then the construction joint on Highway 16, right at the 2850, we'll sit down there and pave about 3/4 of a mile to spend that money. It's probably the worst part of 16 now. It's 16 from 2850 back to Cemetery. It's got a lot of fatigue cracks. It's not in terrible condition, but it's something we're going to have to maintain. It'll get out of hand pretty quickly. But those are the two projects that I would recommend. And if the flex funds are given back, we'll do that little piece on 16. And going forward, Highway 16 will be our primary focus this time next year. And then we'll look at the other rural secondary roads. In your little packet there's a map that's kind of broke out. There's also another map everyone got it at Sally last year. You have it this year too. It has a list of the rural secondary roads, which ones they are. And I gave the judge a route log for all the roads in the county, which you can take a look at too. So that's what we're proposing. As in the past, we'll need, if you vote tonight, or if you wait and vote next time, then we'll just need a copy of the minutes and what your recommendations and suggestions are.
We basically need two things. We need whether or not you accept our recommendations of Baker Road and Craig's Creek Road, and then we'll need a second for whether or not you intend to give us the flex funds back and us use them for what we proposed, or if you want to keep them, or if you want to suggest something else. The advantage to being sooner rather than later with getting both of those is that we can get them left earlier. Gallatin County's been good about letting snow right away. Some of the counties that don't, they don't get let till August, and so then it may not get paid this year, it may carry over the next year before it gets paid. So, with having it this early in January, we got a little time for y'all to think about it.
I got one question. 1992, from Steele's Creek towards Big Bone. Is anybody, being talking about fixing those?
The landslides and
Yeah.
stuff, that's something that we can look at again. We've talked about doing, we've done some out through there with Kenny Kim, the drill rail. We could look at some more, and probably after July could have some money to do a little bit more, such a low volume road. But we'll look at it.
It's just so expensive once you get back in there for the rest of the service. Not a lot of bang for your buck. It is bad.
Dates on that.
It actually has 2016 priority funds. Doesn't mean it's going to get done, but Kevin can answer that better than I can.
Yes, I mean, it's been around for a long time.
After
About
96.
20 years, I guess, that it's been around. It's just a big ticket item, and there's just really no one pushing it. And the right-of-way's been bought, the utility relocations have been accommodated for, and there's construction money in there now. Of course, if you've been reading the paper and with the gas tax, we'll lose $129 million this year out of the road fund. And if they don't put a floor in where it's at now, then it'd be that much again coming first. That's the gas price comes down, the tax comes down too, and there's no way for it to go back up. And if the General Assembly would have put the floor in last year, it would have froze it. But now, even if they put a floor in where it's at now, it'll be 2018 before we get back to the funding that we're at today. So next year's budget will be less, but it's already dropped. So.
The Etheridge project is $13.4 million.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge project that needs to be done. It was started in 1996. You can look back, and that's when they first went on the 6-year plan. It's been a few months.
That's a scary spot. I mean, if you be a semi there, you're scared. They
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna need it.
We will level it up again as soon as we're done.
Well, just in being out and about and looking around the county with myself and our road supervisor, and can't help but notice your all's roads too. We are very fortunate, and probably like you said, most of secondary roads have been blacktopped in the last 6 years. There are a couple places where there are maybe a little bit of slippage that might be starting, but that would basically fall under the general maintenance, and most of the time, hopefully handled through the barn out here. With that being said, and the uncertainty of the money for next year, as we all are, and I know in the past we've always given the flex funds back because you guys have done fine. We likewise have had some expenses this year with our slippages, and now we've got some guardrails, so I would actually like to keep the flex funds this year. And so we can get our guardrails up, and believe me, in the past, you guys have done a terrific job for us with our flex funds. We have no issue at all. But this being the year that it has been, or the last 2 years, we feel like that the flex fund could probably better serve some of our county roads, more so than some of the secondary. So I'm okay with the rest of it, what you've got, the resurfacing of 2850 Craig's Creek, and let us keep the flex fund. So what's your all's opinion? You good with it?
You need a motion to
Yeah.
take the flex fund.
Yeah, I need a motion to do the work as scheduled that they have, and we keep the flex fund.
I'll
Okay, I have a motion to do the scheduled work. We'll do it in two separate.
It'd be better for us to.
Okay. A motion to accept their scheduled work. All in favor? Opposed? So carried. Now to keep the flex funds. Motion to keep the flex funds. Have a motion. Second. All in favor? Opposed? So carried. We'll get you a copy of the minutes to you. So I know we did the first one, get blacktop and get done.
That's right. You'll get the best prices too,
Yeah.
more competition. They're all hungry coming out of winter.
Yeah. We appreciate you guys, and like I said, you've been all right by us. And, this is just one of those funny years that
That's fine. I mean, that's something we typically do with our slides, put the guardrail on there. It's kind of, once you touch it, even though the dropout is no worse, it looks worse.
Anybody got anything else?
Anything else for us at all?
No, we're good. We're good.
I got one question. Ken, I aggravate Ken about this all the time. Is there any plans on any reconstruction of the interstate fencing?
No. Of course, interstate is owned basically by FHWA, and we administer it. They give us a pot of money. We tend to spend it all on the road. The interstate right-of-way fence is more or less a property marker. It's not there for livestock and that type of thing. But we do have a maintenance contract with a fencing contractor, much like we do with George B. Stone for the guardrail. And if we do feel there is a hazard or something that we need to address, we can take care of it with that. So, we make Ken aware of it. We can get with our inspector that oversees that. But just keep in mind, that does not relieve you from the liability. That is just a...
That's always wondered if Kentucky was a fenced in or a fenced out state. Are you all fencing your livestock out, or are we supposed to be keeping our livestock in, when it comes to
Basically,
fencing?
the fence is there to control the access, to keep somebody from going off and on the interstate from their property. That's the purpose of the fence. It's not for livestock. It's just to keep somebody from, putting the driveway in and trying to access the interstate. So it's for controlled access. That's what it's there.
That's why we want to build a fence on it, a foot on the inside of your old fence.
Our fence is 9 inches on us.
Yeah.
So if you put a fence up inside that, that's going to be close to the property line. We put it on our property just to make sure.
Okay, Tim, guys, we appreciate it very much. Anybody got anything else? No, we got some closed session. We'll make a motion to go into closed session.
What's it for?
Personnel. Got a motion to go into closed session. Second, all in favor? Opposed? So carried. We'll go into closed session for personnel. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.